The life of Johann Sebastian Bach as told through means. Johann Sebastian Bach was born in 1685 in the country of Germany. This is what his house looked like. But not really. He was the 8th child born in his family. Everyone was like, "Are you serious?" Bach soon learned that both his parents were musicians and all his brothers and sisters were musicians. Bach was like, "Are you serious?" His mother died when he was 9 years old and his father would die 10 months later. Bach was like, "I'm not going to let you down." But then he had to move in with his brother and his brother was like, "Are you serious?" Young Bach would stay up late at night copying music out of his brother's books because his brother refused to share. "Brother, don't use my stuff." "Bach, I'm not using your stuff right now." At 15, Bach enrolled into St. Michael's School in Lüneburg. Bach's brother, "You're welcome." "Bach, can you give me a ride?" Bach's brother, "No." While at school, Bach was described as a disciplined, methodical, well-trained teenager deeply committed to learning his craft. Me. At 17, Bach got his first job as court musician in the chapel of Duke Johann Ernst II in Weimar, along with other duties. Bach. After several years at the post, Bach became frustrated with his music students. Bach. Let me tell you all the ways you are wrong. Students. Months later, Bach would get a new job as organist at the Blasius Church in Mühlhausen. He would be paid more and would become engaged to Maria Barbara Bach. Bach to former students. I have a girlfriend now. At age 23, Bach and his wife would have their first child, Katharina Dorothea. Bach, I am so proud. His wife would then have Wilhelm Friedemann, Carl Philipp Emanuel, and Johann Gottfried Bernhard. Bach, are you serious? But she would also have 3 more children that would die before their first birthday. Bach, my love heart is broken. During this time, Bach wrote Toccata and Fugue in D minor. Today's children. Bach, I was just trying to be silly. In 1717, 33-year-old Bach got a prestigious position as Kapellmeister for Leopold, Prince of Anhalt-Köthen. Bach as he passed his old job. On 7 July 1720, while Bach was away in Karlstad with Prince Leopold, Bach's wife suddenly died. Bach, my love heart is broken. A year later, Bach would meet 20-year-old soprano Anna Magdalena Wilke, fall in love, and get married. Bach's family. Okay. So that just happened. Together, they would have 13 more children. 6 would survive to adulthood. Bach, what have I become? In 1723, 38-year-old Bach was appointed Themaskantor, cantor of the Themascal at the Themaskirche, St. Thomas Church, in Leipzig. This job would require him to provide music for 4 churches in the city. Used to have a little, now I've got a lot. I'm still Johann, from the block. While in Leipzig, he wrote over 300 cantatas. Cantatas sound like this. Student, I couldn't hear the cantata example. Teacher, then Google it. Student, how do you spell cantata? Teacher, are you serious? While in Leipzig, Bach also became the director of the Collegium Musicum, a secular performance ensemble started by Telemann. Not only would he direct them, he also composed new works for them. Student, why did Bach have so many jobs? Teacher, because he had so many children. He also wrote the Oratorio St. Matthew's Passion and the Mass in B minor, a piece that was probably never performed in full during his life. Student, why did he spend so much time writing a piece he'd never perform? Teacher, because he had so many children. On top of all these other jobs, Bach was also expected to teach music classes. Bach to students, ha ha ha. Not this time. I've been dead inside for years. During his later years, from 1740 to 1750, he composed many large collections of works, such as the Well-Tempered Clavier, Goldberg Variations, and the Art of Fugue. Student, wait, what? Teacher, I was just trying to be silly. By 1750, 65-year-old Bach would become blind. He underwent an experimental surgery from the British eye surgeon John Taylor, a doctor we consider today a charlatan who blinded hundreds of people in trying to treat them. Bach would die a few months later due to complications. Anna Magdalena Bach. Are you serious? After his death, Bach would be almost instantly forgotten. Musical styles had changed and everyone was ready to move on. Bach. But then in 1823, 73 years after Bach had died, young college musician Felix Mendelssohn was presented a gift from his grandmother. A copy of Bach's St. Matthew's Passion. Mendelssohn became obsessed with the composition. Like when you discover a song your grandparents loved. In 1829, a full 100 years since it was first performed, Mendelssohn would conduct St. Matthew's Passion to an audience who would become just as enthusiastic about Bach as Mendelssohn himself. Like when you play Yesterday by the Beatles for the first time in front of your friends. This concert would lead to a resurged interest in Bach's music. For the next several decades, people would search for every musical manuscript they could find by Bach. They would eventually find 1,128 pieces by him. Like when all your friends start learning Beatles songs after you played Yesterday for them. During much of his life, Bach felt like a second-tier composer to other more popular composers like George Frederick Handel and George Philip Telemann. In death, he was instantly forgotten and replaced. But by 150 years after his death, Bach was considered one of the greatest composers of all time. Student, is he still alive? Teacher, are you serious? My son, after watching one of my meme videos,